Hello, I am David Kenny, aka Mr. Awesome X300, and I'm going to be talking to you about today, Liurnia of the Lakes. Now, I want to say something before we start. This area is so large that I had to do it in four separate areas. The first area we're going to be doing is Eastern Liurnia. The second area will be the lake itself. Then we'll be doing Western Liurnia, and lastly, a separate area in Liurnia known as the Moonlight Altar, only available at the end of a certain NPC quest. But for now, let's get started on the eastern part. It's so big, I really don't want to brag, but anyway. So, here is the gist. We're at the beginning of Liurnia, right after you go to Stormvile and defeat Godric, or take a shortcut behind Stormvile. You start at the Church of Irith. That's the nearest location. It's at the start of Liurnia, and a sorcerer resides there, and he wants your help to return to the Academy of Raya Lucaria, which, by the way, is the legacy dungeon of this area. The sorcerer in question? His name is none other than Thops. Also, over there's a scarab over there that'll give you Thops's barrier. It's basically like a shield, deflecting attacks, basically. And the reason why? Because it's also a sorcery that you'll get soon. But, however, that is once you find his dead body at the academy. So sad. Anyway, on to Eastern North Liurnia. We go north. Anyway, Purified Ruins. These are near the lake, and they're guarded by royal forces. That's right, the House of Caria, where Ranella, Queen of the Full Moon and main boss of this area, and also the headmaster of Raya Lucaria, is a queen. That's right, royalty, Carian royalty. And this royalty has magic. Tons and tons of magic. Anyway, hidden in this area is the underground section. The chest here contains the Two Fingers heirloom. It's a talisman that raises faith, just like the Two Fingers here are doing to these tarnished, so to speak, spreading their wisdom and faith. The Two Fingers, by the way, are what guides the tarnished, and they're also in the Round Table Hold, just so you know. Just to let you know. Now, there's a tower nearby. Nearby, there is a chasm that sees Carian puppets battle Carian royal forces. And there's also a troll knight there. Yeah, trolls here are basically like giants. They are descended from the fire giants. That's why they're so big. And at half health, they have swords, golden swords. These troll knights, on the other end, have armor and a separate sword that they can cast glint blade sorceries. Basically, glint blade sorceries are basically like sorceries that can cast swords overhead yourself. And they can, attack anyone who dares to go near them. The point is, on top of this chasm is a tower. A highway lookout tower, if you will. On top of the tower is a Twin Sage Sorcerer. Twin Sage Sorcerers are the elites of the Academy. They can master Glintstone Comet Shard and Crystal Burst. They are known by having two crowns, aka a mask depicting two crowns. Now, on top of the tower is this staff, the Carian Glintblade Staff. It enhances the Glintblade sorceries that I mentioned. Here are some other examples. Glintblade Phalanx. There's also another Carian Phalanx, and other Glintblade sorceries. These staff This staff is given to Carrion Knights, and I just want to let you know, there are only 20 of them left, and you're only going to be fighting two of them. One at Ray Lucaria, the other at the DLC. Now, down a cliff, in the middle of northeast of Eastern Liurnia is a place called Jarburg. Jarburg's a friendly hub, only friendly jars there, and they wish to be left alone. As you know what'll happen if they don't get alone. They go attack you, and you don't want to kill them. They only have innards in them. They only explode or shatter. Oh no, we wouldn't really want that, would we? No, I don't think we would. Anyway, I said it's a good hub. Now, over there is an NPC known as the Jar Baron. Talk with him for a while, in which he mentions one other jar. His name's Alexander, a warrior jar. A good NPC, if you will. Starts at Stormvile and ends with his unfortunate demise at the hands of yourself, because he wants an honorable duel to end his quest. And that will be at Crumbling Fair Missoula. I'll be getting to that when we deal with that place. Anyway, talk with him, then he'll give you this. This is a companion jar. Helps you with throwing jars and increases the potency of it. Good for the DLC because there are gowls there that include tons and tons of jars and jar innards. Spoilers for DLC, and I don't want to talk about that just because of right now, because A, I'll talk to you about it when we get there, and B, it's too horrible to imagine. Anyway, however, to get to the place, you must get an inverted statue from a rise. Ronnie's rise, by the way. Just so you know, Ronnie is the NPC demigod that I mentioned in Limgrave. That's right. And just so you know, she might have instigated a conspiracy. Okay, the Night of the Black Knives. I'll talk to you guys about it when we get to that video about the NPC quests. Just to let you know, Ronnie, you're gonna have to marry Ronnie if you want her ending. And her ending will require you to go to the Moonlight Altar, which I will explain in the last part of the Liurnia. Anyway, the point is this. To get to Jarburg, you must put an inverted statue in Carrion Study Hall. Yes. However, certain items can only be obtained when it's inverted and uninverted, to be so to speak. Anyway, in its uninverted state, there are finger creepers, basically fingers that have tons and tons of fingers, like 10 fingers each, a disembodied hand, or should I say, a severed hand, if you will. Anyway, the Sirloin Seed Talisman is there, and this is an Erdtree seed. Somehow people believed that they didn't exist, but they do, after the Erdtree shattering. This Erdtree seed boosts sorcery power, aka FP, up to 20%. FP also includes skills like Ashes of War, and also incantations as well. Another thing you can obtain there before you invert the place is the Carrion Glintstone Staff. It enhances Carrion Sword sorceries like Carrion Slicer or Carrion Piercer or Carrion Greatsword. You see, a certain type of sorcerer at the Academy wields this power. The Lazuli sorcerers, who wield the Ice Crest shield, and also, which I'll get to when we deal with Carrion Manor, and also the Lazuli Glintstone sword. This sword allows people to cast these swords, aka bigger magical swords, including a sorcery in the DLC. Anyway, as I was saying, this staff enhances it, and like the Glintblade staff, it also is given to knights, Carrion Knights, if you will. However, whether you invert it or not, there is one thing you must do defeat this guy named Preceptor Miriam. She vanishes, ambushes you with arrows. I think I'd prefer if you fight her if you, don't invert it. It's easier that way. I She'll give you a sorcery if you beat her either way. One's magic downpour, the other's lucidity, which alleviates sleep. Magic downpour, by the way, casts like a little rain of stars down on your enemy. Now, just anyway. Also, when you invert it, you can get to the Divine Tower of Liurnia. However, a Godskin noble is in your way. You must defeat him in order to get to the tower. And when you do, when you get to the top, normally you'd find a place to activate a great rune. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. What you get when you get to the top of the Divine Tower of Liurnia is the Stargazer heirloom, which increases intelligence, by the way, and it depicts a young Renella looking up at the starry night, which basically inspired her to become the headmaster of Lucaria. You also get the Curse Marker Death, which is needed for another NPC quest. And anyway, you might be wondering what else is in Northeastern Liurnia. That's where part 2 comes in, and that will be talked about in another video. Until then, please like and subscribe, and please click the notification bell when I upload. It'll tell you when I do. Until then, bye. See ya, bye.